Assalamu alaikum everyone, Sameera here. Hope you're all doing well. I wanted to give you a little bit more information about the trauma-informed yoga classes for Muslim women that I will be starting pretty soon. Classes will be starting on Tuesday, November 10th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for 60 minutes. There will be 4 classes to begin with on a weekly basis, and then we'll reassess to see how that schedule and timing is going. Now, some of you may have heard about trauma-informed yoga and you may be wondering what exactly that is. And so I wanted to give you a little bit more information so that you have what you need to make that decision. So when we're talking about trauma, it's anything that impacts a person emotionally, physically, and spiritually and mentally. So we're talking about life events that could have happened in the past, such as during childhood or adolescence, or also during adulthood. That includes but not limited to witnessing or experiencing violence in the home, experiencing sexual assault or abuse, experiencing intimate partner violence, emotional abuse, experiencing a natural disaster, or witnessing events that were quite violent. So the definition of trauma is broad, and as a result, we're all impacted differently. Now, the beauty of trauma-informed yoga, which is a field that's been around for almost over 20 years now, it is an evidence-based way to support individuals with working through their trauma. Now, I would like to say, though, that trauma-informed yoga, that what I'm offering, since I'm not a yoga therapist, is not a form of therapy. It does not replace therapy that you would seek from a mental health professional. It is meant to perhaps be another form of support that you can use in your healing journey. So when we're talking about trauma-informed yoga, we're really trying to help a person integrate their mind, body, and soul. So it takes our lower brain levels that are responsible for things such as emotional regulation, for helping us feel grounded, for helping us feel present and safe, and it's addressing those brain areas. And those areas of the brain really can't be accessed by conscious thought. It is accessed through breath, through repetitive and simple movements, and by focusing on remaining in the present. And so trauma-informed yoga provides students who take the classes an opportunity to breathe and move in a way that feels safe and grounded for them. How is it different from yoga that you may take at studios that's not trauma-informed? That's a really good question. So first of all, trauma-informed yoga aims to give all the choice and power to students. So the language that an instructor uses in a trauma-informed class is a lot more flowy language. There's a lot more choice involved. The pace of the class is much slower. And so if we were in a physical setting, you would see everyone doing slightly different things according to what their body needed. Another thing about trauma-informed yoga, and of course we're doing this virtually so it doesn't count right now, is that there would be no physical touch. We know that physical touch can be triggering to many students. We all receive touch in different ways. Some of us really like receiving touch in yoga, and some of us reserve touch for people who we love and who are safe to be around and that we know. And so even though this class is virtual, it's good for you to know that trauma-informed yoga does not include physical assist as other yoga classes may involve. Another point to consider with trauma-informed yoga is that there's no guarantee that you will not be triggered. And I think this is really important to remember because students will often come to a trauma-informed class and think that they're completely safe from feeling triggered or from re-experiencing their trauma. And unfortunately, myself and anyone else really can't guarantee that. There are sometimes things that an instructor might say, there might be a certain way that you move, there might be something in your environment that may trigger a thought or a memory from your trauma. And so this is something to consider, that yoga can bring up difficult feelings and emotions, and I can guarantee you that this will be a safe space where you can do what you need to do in the comfort and privacy of your own home to deal with what may come up. Now, the last thing to remember is that yoga can be intimidating for a lot of individuals because of how it is perceived in general society and on social media. Trauma-informed yoga is not about arm balances, about challenging poses, about holding postures that are challenging. It is about simple, repetitive movements. So for example, we'll probably start in a seated position and really focus on grounding our body, on ensuring that we are in the present moment, that we are able to perceive what our hands are doing, how our hips feel on the mat, and then we progress to movements that are coordinated with breath. So while we will move through postures such as maybe a few warrior twos, such as mountain pose, we will not be doing a vigorous yoga practice. So it is somewhat like a restorative yoga practice with a lot of focus on breath, a lot of focus on repetition. Now, in terms of what you need for yoga class, thankfully, not too much. You'll need a yoga mat. It is not safe to practice on carpet or a hard floor since it's not too comfortable either. May also need a yoga block, which you can purchase for around $4 or $5 from a store near you or online. And if you don't have a yoga block, not to worry. Cushions or a pillow also works really well. And I always tell students that during the last pose of class, Shavasana, it's a great opportunity to grab a blanket to put over you if you're feeling like you want a bit more comfort. And of course, you'll have water or something to drink nearby if that suits you, and you get to control the lighting around you. So if you feel like you want the light really bright, like it is in this video, you'll put the lights up bright. And if you want something a bit more soothing, you can dim the lights around you. You can feel free to light candles. You get to create the environment that you want in the comfort and safety of your home, which is something I'm really excited about with this class because you get to create it as you wish versus coming into a studio. Now, if you have any other questions, feel free to comment below or send me a direct message. I'm usually really responsive and I want to ensure that you feel comfortable and safe before you sign up for this class. And if you're ready to sign up, I have a two-step process. The first one is a Google form that is a registration and waiver. I do have some clauses that I go through and explain the class to ensure that you're fully empowered with the knowledge about what this class is, and also just for my own professional liability as an instructor. So step one, visit the link in my bio to complete the registration and waiver form. And then step two, I will send you a link that you can sign up for your classes or class if you want to give this a try. I do offer sliding scale fees. So the class prices are $10, $15, and $20, depending on where you are currently at with your financial situation. If those are not accessible, please reach out to me by direct message and we'll try to do what we can to ensure that you can attend. If you have any other thoughts or questions, comment, and I hope to do a few more videos in the future with regards to trauma-informed yoga and trauma in and of itself. I look forward to, inshallah, seeing you on your mat, and I hope that you stay safe and healthy until then.